Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 23 with the Pittsburgh Pirates. We are returning from an off-season in which much was done to improve the team. We still got a lot of money that we haven't spent yet. So I think there may be more upgrades coming to us in the future. Our big issue, of course, was an ungrateful bastard named Sergio Lara who didn't want to take my money. And so even though I had money to spend, I couldn't spend what I wanted. Which is, a shame, but we haven't really done much with the lineup. The lineup is pretty much the exact same lineup that ended last season. Just in a different order. We're trying Pozo out as a leadoff hitter for a while and see what that gets us. Because he's consistently been a very good on-base threat, and I really want to take advantage of Sean Hill's superior power a bit lower in the lineup, just so he can plate more runs when he does come up. We've got Henry Salgado batting third, Johnny Cerulli cleaning up, and then Jesus Acuna and Jesus Canagiani playing designated hitter. We're also moving Sean Hill to first base. Which is maybe, from a pure perspective, is maybe one of the more interesting moves we've made. Because look at him as an outfielder, he wasn't that great, but it looks like he could be an excellent first baseman. So we're pulling him out of the outfield, letting him first base the shit out of things, which is excellent, of course. I cannot get over how happy I am about Jesus Acuna. I am really pleased that we were able to acquire him for not very much, and we now have a high contact, good power hitter that plays second base quite well. He's not perfect at it, that's for sure. That arm strength is less than you would like, but I'll happily take 70, 70, 77 from a second baseman. Very pleased about that. We desperately need to upgrade the lowest third of our order at some point in some way. Jose Herrera, I'm not really that concerned about. He's a really good defensive catcher, and he's just good enough offensively to not make me regret having him in the lineup. He's certainly not perfect. He's not a dominating force, but he's a good source of doubles, and he draws enough walks that even if his contact isn't great, he's still pretty helpful. He's also super cheap, and apparently he's good at handling a pitching staff, so I'm pretty happy about that. We're bringing Anthony Jones back for another season. Again, he's a lot like Herrera in a lot of ways. He's not a great hitter, but he's a really good defender. And so, while I think his profile would play a little bit better if he were a fourth outfielder, I'm happy to have him as our starting center fielder for now until we get some reinforcements there. Clint Daly, I can't predict anymore. He's already past 30, and he just someone mentioned to hit for decent contact each season. But this will definitely be his last year with the team. We need to upgrade a shortstop. We've gotten what we can out of him, and I think it would behoove us to try to find an upgrade sometime this offseason or even during the season. The pitching staff, our big splurge this year was Ty Sims. Ty Sims has been an excellent pitcher in days past. Purports to continue to be an excellent one. He's costing us a lot of money, but it seems like he's worth it. This might end up biting us in the ass toward the end of it, but right now, we have our big game starter at the top of the rotation. He's got a great mix of pitches, and nothing about his scouting suggests to me that he is going in the wrong direction. So that's where we are with our pitching staff. That was our biggest acquisition starting-wise. We have Juan Espinosa back for a second season. We're going to see what he can do. We have Andres Carrillo, who... I have Jared Teat, and I really kind of wanted to give Jared a chance to be the starter from opening day. But we have to know what Carrillo can actually bring us in a full season. We have to know that by the end of this year. Because right now he's really on that nice edge between being an excellent top-tier starting pitcher and a mediocre starting pitcher. And it's going to be the walks that undo him, right? And he has shown in the minors, at least, that he can walk fewer hitters. So I think there is some level of innate ability here where we can maybe bump this up a skosh, and then the rest of his game plays quite well. He's only really a 3-pitch pitcher, but there's enough difference between the 3 pitches. I mean, okay, splitters and forkballs are the same bloody thing, just forkballs aren't quite as hard. I wish his slider was a little bit better. I wouldn't be shocked at all if he struggles against left-handed pitching, or left-handed hitters, rather. What do his splits say? I'm just curious. Do lefties, like, own him? Or we want opponent batting stats? Yeah, it looks like lefties light him up. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. So that is something else we'll need to consider. His lack of a solid ball that breaks left and right is going to hurt him against left-handed pitching. Left-handed hitters, rather. So we're going to have to definitely watch him. It also limits his usefulness as a reliever if we decide to go that route. So this might be literally a either you play pitch really well this season or we trade you. Jose Brown, the old man. The most reliable arm in our rotation over the past few years. Although 2055 was a really not good year. All of his peripherals are treading in the wrong direction, allowing more home runs, more walks, and getting fewer strikeouts. So, this is going to be another interesting decision for us to make. So one thing I wanted to talk about, and I really touched on it last episode before, because there are now 16 playoff teams, it makes it harder to sell at the deadline, because it's impossible to predict if you're actually truly out of it or not. And that, I think, is what's the most interesting thing about having so many more playoff teams. Is I'm not as willing to trade a pending free agent, because I think there's a good chance that he'll end up that we might make the playoffs anyway. Once you're in the playoffs, you're in a World Series. So the only time you'd ever make a move like that for an expiring free agent is if you're getting something equivalent or better right now. And people just don't do that, right? That's stupid. Why would I trade you 2 players to get 1 player that's not as good as the 2 players I just traded you? That's the kind of thinking that gets you fired from your job. Or, if you're Al Avila, the Detroit Tigers, fired from your job like 10 years too late. Sorry, Tiger fans, if you're a fan of the Detroit Tigers. But we all know that he's not great as a GM. Interesting, another guy without a true breaking ball that has lateral movement. But I do like his overall his movement is quite good. So I think he's still a useful pitcher. His most likely scenario is I'm probably going to issue a qualifying offer to him. And that if he takes it, he takes it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. What am I looking at? I'm looking at a different number here. Here we go. I was like, I wonder if he's a Hall of Famer. He's not. He's not even close. He just wasn't good enough in his Seattle years. They kept jerking him around. They're like, you're a reliever. No, you're not. Yes, you are. No, you're not. It's very easy to ruin a player if you do that, I have found. And then we have Corey Mclaughlin, who, for whatever reason, I just can't seem to quit him. Like, I don't think he's that great, but I'm enamored of the pure variety of pitches he throws. He's got pretty good heat, and he's got good stuff and good control. Now, his movement is a problem, obviously. He's definitely giving up more home runs than I would like. And he's a fly ball pitcher. But first of all, the simple absurdity of a 22nd round draft pick making the majors is insane to begin with. And the fact is he's regularly producing like 1 to 2 wins. That's not ideal, obviously. But I do think that we are still looking at a quality pitcher who I'm going to keep for now. The movement is concerning, but my park does suppress home runs, especially by right-handed hitters. So I think we're all right for now. But I do think Mclaughlin is reaching the point where I'm going to have to fish or cut bait on him too. The bullpen probably got the most love this offseason. We still have, the back part of the pen is still quite similar. I'm still hoping, Padilla, I beg you, please start learning how to throw strikes consistently, and I will make you a starter right freaking now. 28 control is not good enough for a starter, though. It just isn't. Although you're a very talented pitcher, I am not going to take that risk of letting you start with any regularity until you fix that control issue. So I just settle for having a really good reliever right now. Toronto Salgado are old friends. Alex Sanchez was a big-time acquisition in the offseason. He's got a nice cutter-slider mix that should play well against batters with either hand. And although he is 36 years old already, his workload hasn't been that great the last couple seasons. I don't know why he wasn't getting more opportunities. But I'm going to let him have those opportunities here. And we're going to see what he can manage. We've got him locked up for 3 years, which is pretty solid. And because of the way this works, he's never going to get that many games finished. So really, it's really only a 2-year deal. Next, we brought back old friend Josh Wiederhold. We needed upgrades to the bullpen. I needed reliable arms in this bullpen if we were going to be successful, and that's exactly what we have. We have a... When he's healthy, he's been good. And even if he does get injured early on, all it costs us is money. And I have lots of money, so I'm not worried about that. Alfredo Lozano, oh my word, was a chance at the bargain basement. A chance to get a reliable arm out of the pen to help us, give us some support. And we brought back Jim Gender on a 3-year deal. I know. We all have our weaknesses, and mine apparently is for Jim Gender, as long as he takes a low enough salary. Because here's the thing, his talent is sublime. I don't think there's any disputing that he has sublime talent. His issue is staying on the field. So if he stays on the field, and I'm hoping that by having an overall upgraded bullpen, he won't be brought into quite so many situations. I still think he can excel. I know. But he's cheap, and at some point, you keep rolling the dice, you're going to get a good value. Or we won't, and we're only out a few million. Our financial strength is so good right now that I just don't see any reason to get hot and bothered about it. We might want to consider, as the game progresses, we want to consider investing in some upgrades if we can maybe pick up some quality there. I could probably trade for Lara at this point, but to be honest with you, I'm kind of pissed. So fuck him. Even if I could have him, I don't want him. He had his choice, and he chose not to play for Pittsburgh, so he is not worthy of being in our uniform. I traded Chris Barnhart because he's always going to be the kind of player that struggles in our ballpark. And I think his value will never be higher than it just was. So I'm pretty happy about both Danny Gray and especially Matt Hawkins. I think both of them offer us something. Matt Hawkins in particular, if he develops just a little bit, could be that prototypical leadoff hitting center fielder that we've been looking for basically since Josh Lynch stopped being a reliable choice for us. I'm going to let him start in AAA this year. I want to see what you can manage, amigo. As far as our bench is concerned, Mr. Kanagani is currently going to be our DH. I think his time with us is also going to be fairly limited. I just don't have a better choice right now. Because he's a right-handed bat that most of his value comes from his power, but he's also got good on-base skills. And so even another year like 2055 would still be helpful, I think. But I am looking for a long-term replacement for him as well. We've got our good pal Alex Mancia, who we probably have outgrown at this point. He just doesn't hit well enough to carry his average defensive tools, but he's still so useful because he plays so many positions. So, we have newbie Victor Solano, who for now is just going to ride the pine, but my hope is that he goes to AAA and next season, and that we can get another premium hitter into this lineup. This is probably our Kanagani replacement, in all honesty. This is probably the new replacement for him once he can figure out how to hit. So I'm eager to see how that turns out. I really thought about giving Dominguez a shot to be our opening day center fielder. And I'm going to predict it right now. If we can't get a better center fielder for free agency, he might be the opening day center fielder next year. Because while I like Anthony Jones's defense, he just doesn't hit that well. And Dominguez at least has a bit of possibilities there. Now, is there a weakness of this team? There's a great big one. We are playing two corner outfielders who have very little defensive chops. They are both distinctly average, drifting towards below average. They're such great hitters that I don't care, but maybe the other possible future, actually no, because I don't think Solano's a good defender. He's not. We have Jones, and Jones is awesome, so that's why I'm not as worried. And maybe we just need to keep Jones until we find someone who's actually genuinely better than him. Because I do like Dominguez, but he's not as good a center fielder. And he's got enough raw talent that I think he would be a solid... He runs a bit of Ryan Mountcastle, actually, because of his elite gap power. So that's going to help elevate his game, I think. Up and coming prospects, we have a few, but most of them are quite far from the majors. Jorge Hidalgo is somebody I would very dearly like to see in the majors, but I am concerned a lot about how he'll develop. First of all, I'm going to do this. Stop making him fucking pitch. You are not two-way. You are only a catcher. Because that's what's going to be your key, right? Is you're going to be a good catcher. Now, I have no idea how he's going to work out. But it only cost me a supplemental draft pick, so I am more than happy to see if he can develop. Robbie Rodriguez just doesn't have a position right now. He's not really that good at third baseman, so I probably need to start making him take some reps at first, which I think I'll start doing this year. Like, I don't think his future is at third base. I think his future is at first base. So I'm going to go, boop, and you're going to be playing first base from here on out. I just don't like your athleticism will make you like a meh third baseman. which is exactly what your stats say. But I think you could be an elite first baseman, and I can always use upgrades there. Mario Rebelar is probably either our future mega utility guy or an actual starter at second base. Because he has a really complete offensive skill set. He's a good defender. He might be our third baseman in the future. Rebelar is a very good player. But I'm not going to rush him. I'm going to let him repeat double A and then go from there. Hey, I have another catcher in here. Who actually is a pretty good catcher. Interesting. Are you doing the same thing with him too? Are you randomly having him pitch? Oh my god, game. Why do you keep doing this? Stop. And here you're gonna go boop, and I'm gonna go boop. He is not a pitcher. What he could be is a decent frontline catcher. We also have Francis Aguia, who is not a good center fielder, which is the only thing that keeps me from giving him a bigger role. I don't see him having a big future in the major leagues, but he's also a 15th round draft pick, so there's not a lot of need there. We have Christian Jackson, who is probably better than Mancia. I wanted to play in AAA, but he might replace him. Got some other good ends up here. The man to watch is, first of all, possibly Matt Hawkins. I want to see what he does in AAA. But Dan McFarland. If Canigiani doesn't work out, he's gone. Because a player like McFarland is much more valuable to the Pittsburgh Pirates than someone like Canigiani. Now, he's earned enough of a chance to show that he can do it, so I'm not going to replace him yet, but he is on the thinnest of ice right now, because a guy like McFarland, who's a contact machine, is always going to play well in this ballpark, and he would be the second best contact hitter on the team. And it's not like he's a terrible power guy. I am concerned about his ability to hit for average, or to draw walks, but as long as the rest of his game works, as long as he's cranking 40 to 50 doubles a year, I am happy to have him. So this may be the next change to the team. Willie Lana. There's only one number I care about with you. It's this one. You gotta sort out the control. If you can, I think you could be another good starter. But if you can't, then, well, we'll have some decisions to make as well. So there is more help coming through the minor leagues. We just have to be patient, and we have to hope that we get some good development out of some of the players that we have. I would really like to replace Link or Herrera in the near future here. Because I think Herrera's best role is backup catcher. And I'd love to have somebody like a Jordan Bonyos or Jorge Hidalgo take a big step forward this season. Bonyos is going to stay in Double A, and we're going to tell him never to pitch again, and we're going to see what that can get us. So I think that's enough for now. We're going to jump up to opening day. And then we're going to go from there. Oh, no, not Chad Jensen. Anyway. Chad Jensen, honestly, I probably could have kept him, but he just pitched so poorly for me that I decided I wouldn't risk it. That's fine, though. It looks like Colorado ended up with Chad Jensen. Good for you. I don't have anyone in the top 100? Really? I bet I've still got a pretty robust minor league system. It's actually third. So we've actually got a lot of really talented players here. Really? Okay, Navio's pretty exciting. Oh, you're literally getting for all the international free agents that I've signed. That makes sense, actually. Yeah. Alright, my friends. It is time for some baseball. Let's do the first month of the season. You know, I completely forgot that I actually offered Jose Brown an extension. Oh, that's right. He took less money. That was the deal breaker for me. And yeah, Lozano signed for very little money. That's the reason I kept him. The Brown extension, I think, is reasonable. I think he will have a nice bounce back season. So I am not too worried about it. But we will see what happens going forward. Okay, you need to stop every 3 days to clear the schedule. It's getting a bit annoying. So, Mr. Kanagiani, if you're having a really good if you're having a good season by the time we start the month of June, I'll probably keep you. If you're not, I'm probably gonna call it McFarland. You're gonna have a fairly short leash for now. Any big moves in player development? Mostly it's older players getting a bit worse. Mclaughlin is getting a bit worse. Oof. Jim Jennings has decided he's not going to be able to pitch anymore, which is a bad choice for him. He's still good, but he's not as good as he used to be. Pozo is getting slower, which, who cares? Okay. Let us also shortlist some of our more elite prospects. Holy shit, what happened to Jorge Hidalgo? Wait, what happened to you? You were rated, like, quite highly just a little bit ago. What have you lost? Like, I don't get it. I don't see any dramatic declines anywhere. Except, yes, your power and eye aren't quite as good. I don't see how it takes you down from a top prospect to a mediocre prospect. And how the heck is Matt Hawkins in high A? No. You will respect my wishes and put him where I told you to freaking put him, game. I want him in AAA. Alright. Let us proceed on to the month of June. Sanchez, you silly bugger. You silly bugger. I don't know why I called him that, but here we are. I'm gonna suspend you for 5 games, Dominguez, because you're a little shit and you shouldn't be starting stuff. I'm not even gonna dignify that with like a response. It's like, no, shut up and know your role. Your role is to be a 4th outfielder. If you can't handle that, then you can go to hell. Right to hell on the expressway. Oh my god, stop fighting. Roman Alvarado, he retired. I remember you. You were like our first big pitching prospect, and then you got hurt, and you were like not very good. Man, he tried to make a comeback though. He did try to make a comeback. A few years later, it didn't work out for him. Man, you were such a good player for so long, and then you got hurt, and then that was it. Poor guy. Dominguez, I will literally light you on fire if I have to. Yeah, Clint, I'm not paying for you. I've got to get better somehow, and that means taking a bit of a risk. Because I got to figure you're not going to people rushing to knock down your door come the off season, so I can always bring you back if I have to. You could be the next Mike Bordick. That's not nice, game. I don't recall saying you could injure Sean Hill. I distinctly recall that you are not allowed to injure him, but okay. Dan McFarland, welcome to the big leagues again. Boop and boop. Moving on. Yeah, we're getting rocked pretty badly. I think I need to evaluate my pitching staff quite closely here at the beginning of June. That's a dumb name for a mascot, Toronto, but okay. Alright. Ty Smith got a little bit better. Carrillo got a tiny bit better. McFarland got better. Canagiani got a tiny bit worse. Salgado got better. Jones got better. Irvin Moreno is getting better. Willie Lana is getting better, albeit very slowly. We have Ruben Echevarria as a nice little dude here. Mario Rebelar took a pretty big step forward with his defense. That's always excellent news. That's terrible for Justin Edwards, I guess. 300 homers for Manny Pozo. Very nice. I'm not going to say he's got it on lock, but I do think Manny Pozo's got a pretty fair chance at the Hall of Fame someday. Maybe. I think he's getting really close to it. If he can give us 2 to 3 seasons at a high level, I think he's almost got it in the bag. But then again, I thought that about Garrett Gunnels too, and he hasn't been able to break through, so... Alright. Okie dokie. That's all checked. So what do we got going on here? Our defense is really bad. We thought that might happen. So Brown and Mclaughlin are both really struggling this year. As is Alfredo Lozano. So, Canigiani is struggling. But he's still getting on base at a high level. And that's what ultimately makes it hard for you to move on from him too soon. But I do think at some point we're going to move on from it. Daly still can't, Jones still can't hit. So while the top part of the lineup is playing very effectively, once you get past Acuna, it starts to drift. And Acuna's not playing all that well either. A guy with his elite contact has to be hitting 300 with like 30 to 40 doubles. That almost has to be his game, or he's going to struggle. Alright, Jose Brown. You're making me look like a dipshit for giving you a new contract, which I probably had some inkling was happening. Yeah, you're giving up way too many home runs, but at least your strikeouts and walks are better. So you might just be the victim of bad luck at this point. You look at his BABIP, it's ridiculous. His career BABIP is 297. He's over 50 points above that, or close to it. I'm just going to let that go. And we're going to see if he can get better here as the season continues. Corey Mclaughlin is also struggling quite badly. But he's also striking out fewer people. And that's really concerning to me. I think it's probably time to cut bait on Corey Mclaughlin and try to find a better starting pitcher to take his place. One of those options here, of course, is just giving Jared Teat a little bit more time. I don't think that's the right play, though. I don't like his secondary pitches. He's got a really good pitch, and then a secondary pitch, and then he's got some garbage. So, Willie Lana is not ready for the big leagues yet, not even close. So, Mr. Mclaughlin, I'm going to trade you. I will look for every possible position and see what we might be able to add as a good replacement for you. I don't really want another low control guy, but he's not that terrible, and I do think he's got an interesting combination of talents. I like to think I can do better, though. At least I'd like to think that. So I can get pretty much any reliever I want, which is nice. But I'm not getting... Oh, hang on. You have 3 premier starting pitches, and you strike out so many people that I don't think the home runs or the walks are going to be an issue. Dan, you might be my choice. I'm going to keep looking in case there is something else here that's like truly transcendent, but you might be my choice. I'm not bringing back Jose Gonzalez. I've heard this game before. I know what you're about. Oh, no, I don't. You're a different guy. I still don't want you, though. Yeah, we're gonna go for the classic challenge trade. I'm gonna go ahead and grab Bronner, Brower, Bronner, Bowner. I wouldn't mind getting like a decent prospect out of this too, but I'm not like I don't actually expect one. What about Salrada? Like I know Rada's. Ooh, you'd be a really good reliever actually. Like, Tejeda's fine, but he's hardly anything amazing. But I'll give you Roken instead. Done. I'm sorry the fans didn't love Corey Mclaughlin, but the fact is he was holding us back. And Sal Rada, low-key, looks like a really good reliever. Like, he's got two... Like, he only has two good pitches, right? A fastball and a screwball. And that's deeply problematic. But... what if we make him into a reliever? See, he's much more effective. And I'm thinking that might be his... See, that it might be his future best role. So, Mr. Bowner, I'm going to put you on the active roster. I'm just going to slide you right into our rotation in Mclaughlin's spot. There we go. Very impressed by Carrillo so far. As long as he can pitch at a fairly high level, then I think we'll be in good shape. Alright, my friends. Bullpen. Lozano, you're being used way too often, and you're not pitching that well. So, you're demoted to regular middle relief. And Mr. Wiederhold, you're going to be our new setup guy. Nope, I just literally took him out of the setup role game. And then Alex Sanchez is going to be Mr. Used more often. And I don't want Wiederhold being brought in for high leverage either. I don't want them just to bring him in whenever they want to. Sanchez, yes. We can make him middle relief high leverage, but not everyone else. Okay, amigos. Let us proceed. Mr. Lozano. Oh, you're literally the one I just extended, aren't you? I think you'll be fine. I just think you need a little bit less high leverage scenarios. Okay. Anybody want to promote right now? Like, here's my issue with Acuna. Acuna's either starting second baseman or he's nothing. Because that arm won't play at shortstop at all. Do we call up Jackson or Revelar? Jackson is definitely more advanced, whereas can Jackson play short that well? Jackson would be a reasonable shortstop too, but I think I just want to let both of them just keep developing rather than cut it short. Oh dear, Jose Herrera is declining. Yikes. let's keep going for now, and then we'll see where we are. I wish Corey Mclaughlin well. I think he's a really cool dude, and it's just awesome to see somebody that low in the draft end up becoming a starter in the majors. Holy shit, the Cubs are good this year. I mean, Kevin Rodriguez hitting .366. It's hard to argue with that. Okay, this is a good thing. A very, very good thing. McFarland is hitting really, really well in the majors. Canigiani, not so much. I think it's time to move on from Canigiani. I really want a center fielder, but I would also settle for a good shortstop. So let's look at shortstops first. Is there a top tier shortstop on offer here? I am not seeing one in the least. You're just Clint Daly. I've already got a Clint Daly. I don't need a second one. Ooh. That range is an issue. I don't think that's a good shortstop. Alright, let's look at center fielders now, and let's just see what might be on offer here. And then I'm just going to look for the best prospect I can get. Meh. Edwin Sanchez is fine, but again, I'm not seeing anybody here that's really convincing me that... Alright, we're going to do prospect package, let's do it. You suck, Frank Medina. I want no part of you. Ramon Bueno is certainly bueno. I think he's a very solid hitter. Dan Nance is fine. I want at least one player I can get excited about. I think that's the big issue here. Manny Toro is a really good utility type. Let's discuss this deal, and I want to see if I can get him to throw in one more prospect, if there are any of note. Tony Waits is much too raw. I know you would never give me Tom Brown. I'm going to try it just because I'd feel silly if I didn't. But no, I knew you weren't going to give me Tom Brown. That's reasonable. I'm sure you probably throw in Jalen Harper, right? Yeah. Can I get one more player, though? Jalen Moore would be a really nice reliever. But I'm not going to sell out for a reliever. Jose Cueto might be okay. No. Jim Augustine's got a really, really good hit tool. But I don't know where his actual position would be, but it's interesting enough that... No? Okay. Yeah, I don't think Augustine is that exciting. You know what? I'll just not get greedy and take this deal. And then Sean Hill comes back from the injured list. McFarland's going to start batting 5th now. And Mr. Sean Hill returns to his rightful place as our first baseman. And McFarland will DH. Here you are. Cool. This is a good time since I had to pause to make that trade and do an upgrade anyway. I would very much like to take a moment and review our contract situation. Who's coming up in money and who I might want to resign. Josh Wiederhold has been pretty solid. But I'm not paying him $13 million. That's a non-starter. Look, if Padilla can be more than just a loogie, then that's fine, but I'm not convinced he can be, and if he's not, $4 million for him is way too much. I might trade him in the offseason. We probably want to think about locking down Halen Salgado here soon, but I don't want to do it yet. Just in case things don't work out for us with him. Let us proceed. Sanchez, I need you to not, okay? I just need you to stop complaining. I never said you would be the closer. Stop pretending like I did. Cease the nonsense. We gotta put together one of our classic second half swings where we can like push ourselves closer to the playoffs if we can. Because we've been struggling ever so slightly of late. Alright, my friends. First things first. Any big player development news I need to be aware of. Jared Teat is losing velocity, which is fun. I mean, it's not fun, but I can't do anything about it. Carrillo had a slight dip. Jose Brown is losing stuff. Dan Bowner is not throwing as hard, which means we will not be keeping him. Okay. Christian Jackson making steady upgrades. It's always good to see. Do you know I completely forgot about Ruben Valdivia? It just didn't even cross my mind that he was still with the team. Just goes to show you. Alright, let's take a quick look at our youngsters, the top tier ones, and see if they might be ready for a promotion. I want Robbie Rodriguez to get a chance to dominate, so I'm going to let him stay there. He's also only 21. Why are you unhappy? Your role on the team... Are you not starting every day? Do I have to have a word with your manager? Oh god, I just asked to see the manager. I'm so sorry. Here we go. Robbie Rodriguez is getting plenty of playing time. I don't know what he's complaining about. So I shall simply ignore him for now. But yeah, he can stay in A-ball for now. Mario Revelar is hitting really, really well. And I think it's time to promote him again. I think it's time... But the downside is if I promote him, right, then what do I do with Christian Jackson? I demote him. Jackson is actually struggling a little bit, and Revelar is not. Jordan Bonyos is okay. He's got good power. But I don't think we're ready to promote him yet. Alright. Lana, my friend, you're getting close. You are getting close to the point where you would get called up to the majors. Keep working on that control. I've got too many people on the 40-man. I need to start thinking about people that I could dispose of with little to no downside. Including a trade. I think Eguia is one of those guys. I would like a good prospect for you, my friend. Any position will do nicely. Looking for the best possible prospect. Do you have any 50 pluses for me? Hi there, Rajiv Sami. I'm all over that. Done. Let's see if we can't grab another prospect, because he is correct that this is not an ideal return. But I don't know what else. I don't know what a good return looks like right now. You're a second baseman or nothing. A guy like a Cliff Vogt could be somebody I could see. Let's see what that does for you. International amateurs. John Velasquez is obviously the best. Yeah, let's get ourselves some John Velasquez, provided that he wants to play for us. 5 million. Done. You're not asking for much more, and I do think that he is a useful player. So yeah, if you want Luis Murillo, you can have him. There you go. And who else on the 40-man do we think is not likely to work out? I could get anything at all for Chico Akamura. Probably not, but it's worth trying. Like, he's got real big league experience, right? That's got to be worth something to somebody. No? Alright. If nobody wants him in trade, I'm just going to waive him and see if he can get through that. Tyler Sanders is never going to get another chance to play in the majors for me. Let's go ahead and trade him. I will happily take a Luis Herrera. Especially because he might add velocity over time, so I am happy to take him. Can I get more, or am I being greedy? I'm probably being greedy if I ask for more. Yeah, I'm definitely being greedy if I ask for more. I'll just take what I got. There we go. And maybe one more. Is there any other player here who is so marginal that they're no longer worth keeping? Irvin Moreno is, like, respectable at this point. He's not outstanding, but he is respectable. But my big issue with him is he's never added velocity. And that's a big concern because he's a huge guy. I don't know why he's not adding velocity. If he does, he's added some. Like, he's added some, where he at least sits in the low 90s, but yeah. Alright. And then we're gonna have some words about who gets added to the 40-man at the end of the season. Let's go up to the draft. Really, McFarland, you absolute jerk. Alright, who is the best hitter in the minor leagues? It doesn't... Really? I don't have any other contact guys in the minors. I guess you can try... Actually, you know what we'll do? I'll call up Luis Blanco, but I'm actually going to let Victor Solano be the new DH. And we'll just move Acuna back up. And go ahead and generate some new depth charts for me, please. Link is at least hitting this season. That's something, I suppose. Oh, right. There we go. Alright, let us advance to the first year player draft. We got John Velasquez, excellent. Alright. I definitely want to lock up all the minor league coaches real quick, but then I think we'd have to make a change. I think that change is going to be Ronnie Gideon. Really? I got to talk to all of you individually? Alright. Alright, is there anybody on the current roster that would make a fine manager or a fine first base coach? Aldri Acosta would be okay. He wouldn't be brilliant at it because he's more just of a pure pitching coach. Okay, Christian James is probably my choice here. And Mr. James here is temperamental. How would that get along with the current team? Only 2 people would hate you, but nobody would like you. So you're not a good fit either. Okay, DaCosta is my dude. He's easygoing. And we like easygoing people. Okay, Ronnie Gideon, you're fired. And Mr. DaCosta, welcome to the big leagues. And let's also fire our assistant GM. And we want to get somebody personable or easygoing. Ideally personable. So first things first, Clark Egan, you get promoted. And then Hayden Jones gets promoted. Oh, you won't let me do it. What about you? No. Okay. Then I will hire someone to fill this role for the rest of the year. Here we go. Giancarlo Soto, welcome to the Pirates. And I need an assistant GM, and I need someone who's easygoing. I think it's the first time I've ever actually fired a GM. Let me do default here. Ishmael Flores, I think you're in. Here we go. He's not the GM, I'm the GM, but that's fair. I like the story of Flores, who was a GM in the independent leagues. Oh, that's kind of cool. Great. So people are still unhappy. It might be Acosta that's the problem, but I think for now I'm just going to let them all work together. And we can go from there. Oh, DaCosta, you can do this. And we'll let DeGagne do that. That should help fix the chemistry a bit more. I think this is just a matter of now you just gelling together as a new staff. Okay. All right. I didn't know it was possible for Jim Gender to get hurt, but not actually be hurt. That's exciting. We're picking 29th. Do I really have 40 teams now? No, I have 38 teams, and there's only 2 comp picks. Maybe I need to expand the playoffs again. Are there really 38 teams? So I have 6, 6, 6. That's going to come up as 18. And then I have 6, 24. And then 24 and 14 is 38. I do have 38 teams. Wild. Yeah, we might need to think about expanding the playoffs again. Maybe to 18? I don't know. So we've got 3 premium prospects left, plus a starting pitcher. Let's start with the premium prospects here. I don't think so. You're a very solid hitter with some skills at different positions, but you're not... I don't get what makes you elite. I truly don't. Unless it's the idea that you could be a two-way guy. But I am not interested in you. Nope. Maybe. You look perfect. You're not the ideal pitcher. But I love your pitch mix. And you seem to have pretty good velocity, and you've got a nice ability to strike people out, but also get the rest of your job done. Mr. Mejia, I choose you. Bobby Diaz. Very, very good stamina. I don't love this mix of pitches, but you at least have one good lateral breaking ball with that slider. You have really good control, which means you're fairly advanced. And you've got great stamina. You're an excellent contactor, but you can't really play the field at all. You're a goodish overall hitter, but you're also not a very good catcher. You actually strike me as a pretty good choice. You've got a good range of skills. And yes, you're not a brilliant outfielder, but I think you're one that can stand around and not be a problem. So, Mr. Aguinaga, I choose you. Alright. Robbie Perez. Really good stuff. A nice cutter splitter change. I'm always intrigued by people who don't have a straight fastball. And you need to fill out a little more. 6'4", 190 is pretty skinny. If you add like another 20 to 30 pounds, I think we'll see an uptick in your fastball. I think that's worth a shot. So you're next. Juan Camacho. Good velocity. Fastball slider combo, that'll play in the bigs. Movement isn't great, but as a reliever, I think there's a little bit less stigma. So I shall offer you a contract. Sadatoshi Nakamura is a very good hitter and a very not good fielder. So I think I'm going to pass on him. You're a third baseman, and your bat won't carry third base. I don't think your bat's going to carry any position, but you're a good enough defender that I'm willing to give you a shot. So Ethan Hammond, welcome to the Pittsburgh Pirates. You can only play shortstop, which should be a pretty good one, so I think Mario Key makes a fine choice. Nobody wants Dave Contreras at this point. And honestly, because he will cost me nothing, I will draft him in the 8th round and see what that gets us. Are there any really good contact people left? Mario Castellone, absolutely. Get over here right now. You could actually be a really special player. If you can develop your ability to catch and your hit tool gets where it needs to be, you could be a very, very good player in the major leagues. And then I think Iro Vakuri, who isn't, like, nah, he's not that great. Although he's not bad either. Let's give him a shot. Let's take him for $0. It cost me nothing. And let's grab Jose Cardenas, just because he's really fast. And then let's look at pitching potential. Do you have any great big stuff guys? Nobody wants to give Edwin Ulloa a chance. He looks like he should be a lot better than he is. I'm willing to take him and try to develop him into the best version of himself. Alvard Hochkavankista. What a name. That's Armenian. I mean, you gotta take the Armenian if he's available, right? That's just science. I am content to let my scouting director pick the remaining rounds of the draft. Go for it, amigo. And then we're gonna negotiate. Oh, that's right, I lost my third round pick when I signed Sims. That's right. I remember that now. I am really intrigued to see how Jose Mejia turns out. I think there's a lot of players we got that could go either way, but we got so much talent that I still feel pretty good about the overall future of our organization. I really do. Oh, let's advance to the All-Star game. Ooh, nice. 6-game home run streak for Mr. Cerulli. That's good news. Everybody is signed already. All-Star game. How many from Pitt? We got Espinosa and Padilla. And Johnny Cerulli and Manny Pozo. And Henry Salgado. I'm a little surprised Sean Hill didn't make it, but then again, he has been injured quite a bit. Yeah, it's a lot of All-Stars. I am here for that. I am definitely here for that. Who are my prospects? I've got to have at least one prospect, right? Yeah. Omar Spineo. Interesting. And he is playing very, very well. You know what I'm going to do? As a reward for making the All-Star team, I'm going to promote you to A-ball. Congratulations, my friend. Congratulations. So I'm going to sum up to the trading deadline, and we're going to see if there's anything we can add to make... Ooh, dear. We are... I think this is really just a sign of how tough the National League Central is this year. I don't think it's so much the fact that we're not a good team. Joe Jobson is a really good reliever that would cost us very little money. And Devin Gambrell could turn into a good hitter. All you're asking for is Tony Eves. And I will take this deal. That seems quite good. And then Mr. Joe Jobson, I'm definitely going to promote you. It's just a question of who I would send down. Or whom I would trade to make room for you. Alex Salgado. I wonder if anybody would want you, my friend. That's fine. You could be a borderline starter, actually. I'll go for Mario Gonzalez. And then I will promote Mr. Jobson, and you will take over as a middle reliever. Jim Gender is struggling a bit as closer. This might be another reason why we're struggling. So I'm gonna make Wiederhold the closer for right now. And I'm just gonna make you a regular middle reliever. I'm gonna promote Alex Sanchez to set up. Some good quality, old-fashioned bullpen shuffling always gets the blood pumping. All right. Cool. Jose Brown, figure out your shit. It's not that hard. Just stop getting hit so much. Clint Daly. You're actually below replacement level. You're not even that great a shortstop anymore. Okay. This needs to be solved right now. I need a better shortstop. We could try Rebelar at short. I think he's a more natural second baseman now. Like, you probably deserve a shot in the big leagues at this point, right? Like, I don't think there's any question about that. The question is, could you make it as a shortstop? And I think you might be able to, but I'm not sure that I'm willing to make that move right this second. Let's check the trade block and see if we can get a quality, like a 1-year thing for a stop of the short variety. And don't even talk to me if they're not good defensively. Tim Beasley is the best shortstop available. But Dylan Kin is also pretty solid. You know what we're going to do? I'm going to put Rebelar on the 40-man right now, and I'm going to promote him, and I'm going to let him play shortstop. Because there's not really good shortstop on the market, and I'd rather let a youngster try it out and see what he can manage the rest of the season. And see what that gets us. Oh, I've got Nelson Villalobos, who would be an upgraded shortstop right now. Let's do it. Let's get ourselves some Villalobos action. Would you take a demotion, Clint? I don't think you would. No, you wouldn't. No, I'm gonna let Clint Daly play for now, but there's definitely going to be an interesting competition in the near future here. Alright. We're going to get Dan McFarland back here shortly. That's going to be great news. Who goes down? Luis Blanco goes down. And then Mr. McFarland instantly gets his job back. As the duh. And, oh, what are the Phillies offering me? You are offering me a bullpen guy. I've got plenty of bullpen dudes, but thanks. Thanks, man. I mean, I don't like Alex Barrios at all. Yeah, I'm not convinced you're a good choice either, though. Yeah, Wiederhold, I wouldn't mind bringing you back, but you just want too much money, and I don't think that's a smart idea. I don't think it's very smart to spend a lot of money on a reliever who is injury prone. I mean, I've already got one of those. I have Jim Gender, who I apparently can't quit. We might miss the playoffs this year. I don't know how we fix that, though. I don't think there is a way to fix it. I mean, I know our defense is garbage, but... like, how bad is it? Like, who is royally fucking up at defense? And why do I have a feeling it's going to be my two corner outfielders? It's actually not really my corner outfielders. Like, they're obviously not great, but they're not, like, pure awfulness either. I gotta get rid of Mancia. Mancia is going to get non-tendered because he's just not good enough. I think this is more... we don't have as enough outstanding defenders as we have actually bad defenders. That's kind of what I'm reading here. Like, I don't see how you're saying my team defensive efficiency is 676. When no one is actually that bad individually. We are making a lot of errors. Who's the culprit there? Who's making all the errors? It's Acuna. That's not a good sign. Acuna, you better figure out your shit real fast. Because actually, I think I'm going to let Daly keep playing short. I think I'm going to let Revelar take over for second. And then we can think about... do we just trade Acuna now? Like, here's the thing with him. He's always hit. But he hasn't always been a great defender. Fielding stats, please. Career. Like, he's unusually error prone this year. That's pretty rare. But his range factor is down. Interesting. Like, errors or whatever. I don't really care about errors, but I am concerned that he's not the defender he used to be. Like, you've had every opportunity to be a better second baseman. You just haven't been. You just haven't been as good. You're losing range, and your zone rating isn't that great. And we look at your expanded fielding stats. Just a season, please. You're making the routine plays and most of the likely plays, but then you get to the even plays and you suck. Remember, you should be making about 50% of your even plays. He's off that mark by about 4 points. And he's not making up for it, but making lots of crazy plays either. So this is a big issue. It looks like his range is really becoming a problem for him. I mean, Revelar doesn't have great range either, but he's also got a really good arm that could make up for it, and he's also really, really good at turning double plays. As is Acuna. I guess it just comes down to, is his arm the problem? If it is, then we should trade him now and let Revelar have control. And I think that's the right call. I think that is the right call. Like, I know we gave up a fair bit for him. Like, we gave up Tony Moreno, who I really wish we still had right now. But I think I'm good with this. Let us offer up Mr. Acuna and see what might be had. I will look for regulars as well. I'm not going to limit myself to prospects. And he's a really good player, so I'm not even going to consider a player that's not at least worth a 50. I'm only being offered pitchers. Interesting. Yeah, Andy Graham is an amazing player, and I have literally nowhere to play him. I don't need upgrades at those places, though. Hi, Jim Richardson. Nah, you're not really a shortstop. You're lying to me, game. Maybe I should ask about veterans, too. Like, if I'm getting a great player at the end of the day, I guess it doesn't really matter to me how much money it costs me. Juan Perez would definitely help us this year, but I wouldn't bring him back. I'm being offered some really, really intriguing pitchers, and you can always use more pitching. No, I'm not acquiring Jimmy Dent unless you eat a good chunk of his contract. Same with Joe West. Alright, so I've got a lot of options here. Just an absolute metric ton of options here. So, starting pitchers I presently have. Pitching ratings. Bowner right now is probably my weakest link, and I can move him to the bullpen if we can get a good starter to replace him. So that's my objective here, is to get a starting pitcher. I mean, I'll check center field real fast. You're not a center fielder. You are a center fielder, but you're a long ways away and also not that great. You're also not that great. You're not a center fielder. At least not a reliable one. You're not a reliable center fielder. You're not any better than Jones, and you're way more expensive. Other than your arm strength, you're a really good shortstop, but the arm strength is kind of important on a shortstop. Otherwise, I'd very seriously consider that. Dan Adams doesn't have much of an arm. Zach Reed is an okay hitter, but a terrible second baseman. So I'm not getting the center field options here. That's fine. Let's talk about starting pitching then. So let's start with Juan Perez. Juan Perez is an absolutely fantastic starting pitcher. But he doesn't have a good lateral pitch, and most importantly, he's 38. It's that 38 part that makes me unlikely to trade for him. Because, look, right now, let's check the standings, the wild card standings. We have a wild card spot. So, this isn't really our season to go all in, though. It really isn't. So, yes, I could acquire Juan Perez. Definitely. But I'm not likely to bring him back next year. And I would like at least a little bit more life to it. We have Jared Foster here. Foster's got a nice mix of pitches. He's got really good stop movement and control, good stamina. He's also 33. But he can opt out after next year. Interesting. You are a possibility, Mr. Foster. Let's keep looking, though. Angel Velasquez is a no. I want a great pitcher, not a good one. Joe Camp is durable, good stamina, a great mix of pitches. He just hasn't been starting for whatever reason. Joe Camp might be the winner. It's not that Jared Foster isn't better, because he is. It's the fact that Joe Camp is going to be under our control for a lot longer. Jimmy France is a no, thank you. I don't like the control from Ricky Tirolette. You're literally injured right now. I'm not going to trade for a guy who's presently injured. That seems like a bad decision. Jimmy Denton is good, but also pretty expensive. I know what Joe West is. I had Joe West. I could bring him back, I guess, but I'm really leaning towards Camp, though, who is both the better, who may not be as great a pitcher right now, but is going to be a lot better in the future. No Edgar Guzman. You're not getting me on that again. No to Mike Serdinsky. I like Nicholas Cartwright, but he's only got one outstanding pitch, and I'm worried about his ability to be a great starter long term. So I think Camp is the guy. I think we grab Camp, maybe grab a quality reliever, and then see where that... And maybe grab a quality prospect and see where that gets us for the rest of the season. How about Takeo Tsugawa? You're going to tell me to get fucked, and I'm also not that convinced you're that great a player, so I'm not actually going to do that. Nope. Reds, you have a really, really bad farm system. I'm not going to lie, Chief. How about Jerry Miranda? Can I get him too? Excellent. I like Tony Sandy because... Oh, hell no. He sucks. No, 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 no. I don't want him anymore. You almost got me, but then you didn't. Mike Kuhn is somewhat interesting. I like the knuckle curve fastball combo. You can have Omar Sosa. Done. I'm sorry about people being grumpy about Jesus Acuna, but it had to happen. Excuse you, Joe Camp is here to be a starting pitcher, my dudes. He is not here to be a reliever. So he's gonna take Bauner's spot in the rotation, and then Bauner is going to be... Actually, Bauner is pitching fairly well. Oh, no, he isn't. He is pitching at replacement level for me. He was pitching really well with the Mets. There you go, Mr. Camp. You can be a middle reliever now. Mr. Bauner. I'd like to get RJ Padilla some more reps. I think we're like holding him back because he could be a really great pitcher. I'd like to get some middle relief work in. Because, yeah, you're just about as good against righties. Mr. Bauner, you're my new lefty specialist. RJ, you're going to be a middle reliever who features prominently as a lefty specialist guy. I want you to just pitch more, period. And then we'll go from there. And then... Oh, I've got to make room on the roster if we want a second baseman. Which I do, as it turns out. Right. Somebody's going to want him to be a starter. Somebody's going to ignore all of his actual talents and be like, I want that man to be a starting pitcher. I'm going to trade Mr. Teat here. Or Tiet, if you like. And I only want prospects for him, because this is about getting him off the roster. It's not about getting an amazing return. Ruben Gutierrez, though, looks like actually a genuinely great return. John Woods here is very, very robust. He is a good in. That's a damn good fastball curveball mix, but if you can't make people swing and miss in the bigs, you're not going to be a very good pitcher. John Woods, on the other hand, has a good repertoire. So I think we're going to go with Mr. Woods here. Well, in my opinion, you're a mistake. I'm sorry, that was unkind. That was unkind. Yeah, I'm good with this. Unless Manny Botello is, like, fantastic and they will give him to us, which I don't think they will. You want a little bit more, eh? Yeah, Arana ain't shit. The fans are a little bit bummed out, I get it, but we need a new second baseman, and that second baseman is Mario Revelar. Done. Honestly, adding Rebelar might be one of the best pieces of this entire deal. But we're definitely going to see what he can manage here. We just drafted him like 3 years ago, so it's not totally unrealistic that he's in the bigs already. And I think Christian Jackson gets promoted to be another utility guy when rosters expand. Andres Carrillo keeps getting better. That is wonderful news. Well, Jose Herrera is trying to get better. Herman Dominguez is definitely trying to take a step forward. He wants to be considered for center field next year. His control's at 37. He's really close to that zone. Rajiv Samit. Like, his top-level catcher would make him at least a very reliable backup, and that's kind of what I have him for, is to be that good backup. I guess if I care about his defense, I do have Mike Day as well, if that's something I decide I need in my life. Let's roll forward. Really, dude? I just give you a bigger role and you get injured. What the shit? Game, what the shit? We can try Manny Carrillo. Why not? So, Bowner, I'm going to move you into just being middle relief, and I'm going to let him be my lefty killer. I can see something good coming from you. Alex, you need to shut up. That's what you need. You need to not talk right now. If you behave yourself, I might make you the closer next year. But you have to behave yourself. I'm kidding. It'll be Jim Gender forever until he proves he finally can't pitch anymore. I am a man with weaknesses, and apparently Jim Gender is one of mine. That's fine. Wow, Chris Barnhart still can't even crack the Major League roster for Austin. That's kind of embarrassing, actually, my dude. Okay, Sanchez, seriously, go fuck yourself. Stop complaining. Just cease. I don't care how grumpy you are about it. You're gonna know your fucking role. Shut your mouth. Don't give me your bullshit. Or I will do things to you that you will not like. The NL Central is stacked, my dudes. The NL Central is stacked as shit. Like, I would be no worse than second place in any other division in the National League. Alright, so we get Padilla back. I'm going to go ahead and let you... Actually, I'm going to call you up right now. And have you do middle relief work. And then I'm going to call up Christian Jackson because I want a new utility guy. Or maybe not, because Christian Jackson might be... No, here he is. Villalobos has a bit more defensive chops. So I think I will actually let him do it instead. And then generate me some new depth charts, if you please. Let me just take a quick look here. This looks good. And this looks good. Perfect. Sal Rada might end up actually getting a rotation spot. No, he won't. I can't. Not with that pitch mix. He's going to get obliterated. You really genuinely need 3 pitches to succeed at the major league level. So I am going to be very cautious. Willie Lana's control is getting closer to that lovely zone. We're seeing Matt Hawkins do better. Cool. Now let us play till the end of the regular season unless there's anything drastic I could do to make the team better. Not really. Not yet, anyway. Anthony Jones, I wish you were at least like a league average hitter, because your glove is worth it. Your offense, not so much. But you're a really good hand defensively. Andres Carrillo, this was your coming out party this year, and I'm very pleased with how you've pitched. Like, obviously, 3 walks per 9 is not ideal, but the rest of your numbers are so good that you're actually one of the better pitchers on the team. Mr. Juan Espinosa has transformed himself into an elite pitcher. So, to the people that were saying it's okay to have lower stamina, guys, mission accomplished here. Ty Sims has been what we looked for. We wanted an ace, we got one. We paid for it, but we got one. And then Jose Brown is slowly improving. And as long as he's worth 2 to 3 wins, I'm not going to grumble about his salary too much. Especially if he's actually taking less money going forward. Bullpen looks solid. We should be scoring more runs than we are. I think it's the fact that, well, we've got a very top-heavy lineup, and that our top few hitters are fantastic, and then they just kind of drip off. Pardon me. But I still feel pretty good about our chances all the same. Let's keep going. Catcher and shortstop. Those are the 2 areas you need to upgrade at in the offseason. And they're also the hardest to upgrade at. Because typically speaking, if a team has elite catchers or elite shortstops, they don't let them go. Wiederhold will be out for a week. That's fine, I guess. I can't really do anything about it, so just maybe don't pitch badly. Let you get some rest. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually put him on the IL. I don't want him to try pitching because he'll blow out his finger. So Sanchez is going to be the closer while he recovers. Padilla can be set up. And so then the question becomes, what other role do we need? I don't have an emergency starter. Willie Lana is already on the 40 man, so we're going to call him up and give him that prestigious role of emergency starter, long reliever. Okay. Because if we're going to have any chance to do well in the playoffs, we're going to need Wiederhold at full strength. So I don't mind him taking some time. Oh, my hitting coach is retiring. That's unfortunate. I liked him. Good. We have staff cohesion now. Wonderful news. Can I please promote Andres Melendez, please? Game, please. No, I can't. Yeah, this is probably the most annoying thing about OOTP. This has to be drag and drop. Like, I can't promote people to the position I want because they want every position on the entire game. That's very weird. 'Tis quite unusual. Here we go. Rusber Estrada. Come on down. Damn, son. Okay, you are very rapidly racing up the minor leagues. My dude, I'm going to put you in full season Greensboro. Like, you might be kicking the door in the majors very, very soon. Like, I'm definitely not going to rush you that fast, but I think you've at least earned an opportunity to play at high A. Because you're kind of wrecking low A, right? You're kind of wrecking it. Hell, you finish up hot, you might even end up in double A to start the season next year. And we have clinched the playoffs. Delightful. And we get Josh Wiederhold back. That is the best of news. Mario Rebelar apparently has a virus of some kind. That's not great. Poor dude. Mr. Willie Lana, I'd like you to go back to AAA, please. And Josh Wiederhold, you're going to be the closer just because you've been my best pitcher. Sanchez is going to be set up. And Padilla is just going to be middle relief used more often. Nice. Hey, good job, McFarland. Well done, my friend. Well done. Almost literally every single team in the NL Central has made the playoffs. That's pretty funny. Sucks to be from a different division, I guess. Yeah, Josh, I can't afford you. I can't spend $12 million on a closer that isn't healthy enough. If your price comes down in the offseason, I will roll out the red carpet for you to come back. But for right now, it's not a smart risk. Not at 12 million. At like 6 million, we'll talk, but not 12. Nice. Alright, amigos. It is time to make sure the playoff roster is sought appropriately. You're having a fucking laugh, right? Yes, I'm going to leave my best picture off the play. What the fuck are you talking about, game? Oh my god. Sometimes, guys, sometimes. Ben Toronto, you're gone. Yeah, he's the best pitcher on your entire team, but let's leave him off the postseason roster. What the shit, game? What the shit? Who else is weirdly missing from the playoff roster? Okay, this looks good. This looks good. Mr. Bowner, I'm going to convert you to emergency starter along with... No, I'm not. Because I'm only ever going to run a 4-man rotation in the playoffs. So I'm going to let Joe Camp have that last spot in lay pen. Yep, I'm good with this. Let's do it. Yeah, don't play Ty Sims. What the hell, game? What the shit? I mean, maybe I should have left. What? Ernesto Nieves? Treason. That's alright, though. Okay. I am not going to play an elimination game this early in the playoffs. If I win it, I win it. If I don't, I don't. And we lost. That's fine. Yeah, I have no problem with that. We did try. We just weren't very good. Manny Pozo kind of vanished, as did Johnny Cerulli, but that's alright. I'm not annoyed or anything. Just making the playoffs is good enough for me this year. Especially after how slowly we started. I have no problems with that whatsoever. I do. Who even is Tyler Patton? I don't know. Yeah, I didn't think it was worth it to play one game just to maybe make it deeper into the playoffs. I think for my sanity and to keep these episodes anywhere near reasonable length, I can't do the wild card round. It cannot be done. And look, we were both roughly the same quality of team. Hey, the Dodgers might win the World Series, so good for them. Yankees Dodgers, a classic. Let's go Dodgers. I don't like the Dodgers, but I hate the Yankees, so... As all good American League fans should. I follow Cincinnati's ridiculous lineup, having 2 guys at 50-plus homers. They still can even win 2 games in the playoffs. They won exactly as many games as I did. Nice work, Los Angeles. Very nice. Good work. Good. How is the owner feeling about how we did? Nope. Interesting. Okay. I thought he might opt out. Why are you upset? Like, I know we didn't win the World Series, but I got a much better first baseman. And I improved staff cohesion, so I need you to not, okay? I need you to shut the hell up, okay? Just do that, and it'll be great. Okay. We don't have that many decisions to make here. I'm gonna go ahead and make these right now. Mr. Juan Espinosa, I think you have done a fine job this season, and you deserve a raise. So 3.1 million, very reasonable. RJ Padilla wants to get basically paid like a lower tier starter, but I think he's better off being a reliever, so I am actually going to go ahead and give him that 1-year deal just to prove it. Absolutely not. You get 1 year. And I'm not giving you the starting rotation either. I don't think you'd be very good at it. Dan Bowner is not really worth $2 million. Like, I get it, right? This is the kind of thing where in the past I probably would like overpay to keep him. But the thing is, Salrada might be the better pitcher in the trade, and I think he's got a chance to be successful. Corey Mclaughlin actually turned it around a bit for the Mets. This may be one of those trades I end up regretting later on, but for right now, you are non-tendered, Mr. Bowner. I don't really want you back. Clint Daly wants a raise. Absolutely not. No, you are barely replacement level. That is not worth $12 million. That's worth $0 to me. You just want too much money, my guy. You want too much money, and I can't afford it. So you can both have fine careers elsewhere, but not with the Pirates of Pittsburgh. Mike Dead, like to give you a minor league extension if you'll take one. Same with Nate Keys, because you both had great seasons. Arturo the Board. I know that's not what the Board A means, but maybe it's what it should mean. Alright. So, how did this season actually go in terms of our overall talent level? I don't know how Manny Pozo keeps doing it. This man just prints out 6 WAR seasons like it's not even a thing for him. I'd still like to have a true leadoff hitter on this team. I think that would transform our entire lineup if we could get one. But, you know, I can't argue with a man hitting that well. I just can't. He may be the Hall of Famer that we've been looking for this entire series. Because, I mean, I'm not going to bench him anytime soon. Not if he keeps putting up seasons like this. He just keeps racking up the All-Star appearances. He might have an outside shot at some MVP votes this season, which would be pretty nice if that could happen. Because I think that's like the bad part of this, right? Is he's not quite able to get the awards that you'd like. Sean Hill says, first base, no problem. He is truly exceptional in every sense of the word. Wish he didn't get hurt this season. I think we probably would have finished with a better composition if we had, but can I really argue with hitting almost 1,000 for your OPS? My friends, I cannot. Henry Salgado was magnificent, as expected. A truly exceptional hitter. Nothing more to say there, really. Johnny Cerulli has one job, which is hit as many home runs as is feasibly possible, and he's done that quite well. But you'll notice how very top-heavy this lineup is. We have 4 really outstanding players, and then it just dips. Anthony Jones was fine. He was fine. His defense is worth the price of admission by itself, especially when I have 2 subpar corner outfielders. Would I love a better one? Absolutely, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. Dan McFarland turned out to be a very fine hitter and a nice addition to our lineup. I wanted contact and doubles, and I got contact and doubles. Perfectly fine. I can very easily see him being a solid DH for another season or 2 until one of the other big bats is ready. Jose Herrera was fine. He just keeps doing the same thing every season, which is he hits a few doubles, maybe the odd home run, and then plays fairly okay defense. If he's never missed a Wordle, he's getting a new $20 million a year contract. I'm just kidding. Mario Rebelar definitely gets an incomplete. We don't really know what he can do yet, but we're going to keep him on the roster next season. Second base is basically his job to lose, and then we'll see where that gets us. Clint Daly is replacement level, and holy hell is Alex Mancia terrible. Victor Solano, I expected. I knew he wasn't going to be great. This was about a move for the future, not a move for right now. Can I demote him to the minors yet? I can. Enjoy AAA. You are not ready for the bigs, my friend. Not even close. Not even close. Alright, let's look at the pitching. Ty Sims was brilliant. He was worth every penny we paid him for. Yeah. Weirdly, the game thought, let's leave him off the postseason roster, which is pretty stupid, but Espinosa turned out to be great, as were Carrillo and Brown. I said this is Carrillo's prove-it season, and prove it he did. He is an excellent pitcher that strikes out lots of hitters. If his control still isn't perfect, the rest of the package together makes him worth keeping around. So, very pleased about that, especially given that we got him basically for free, which is pretty cool. Joe Jobson wasn't that great, but he didn't really pitch all that much for us, and we might see what he does next year. We had a really good bullpen, even with Jim Gender basically being a disappointment. Josh Wiederhold was fantastic. Am I going to bring him back? I'm not, because I'm not going to pay $12 million for a reliever. I'm physically unable to do that. But we've got a really solid pitching staff returning for next season, and there's still more help coming with guys like Willie Lana and possibly Sal Rada. Sal Rada will almost certainly earn a spot. So the last thing I want to do this episode is I want to go through our Rule 5 eligible players and put the ones we definitely want to keep on the 40-man so I don't forget. Christian Jackson. I have a feeling if I trade him, I will regret it. Yet. I think he'd be a perfectly cromulent backup shortstop and could probably even learn to play a bit of third. I think as a utility guy, at least, he's worth keeping. You get 40-man. I don't know why you can't just do it that way, but okay. Jordan Bonyos. The only reason I wouldn't put him on the 40-man is if I thought he would never develop, but up until this season, he'd actually been performing quite well. So I think he is worthy of a 40-man roster spot. Done. Sal Rada, no hesitation, 40-man spot for you. I do want Rajiv Samit because he is pretty close to being a viable backup catcher right now. And we do need quality catching. So I will put him on the 40 man. Like so. I know I have 40 catchers on the I know that I have 4 catchers on the 40 man. I will make a decision next episode about who to keep and who not to keep. Mario Tejeda is a pretty talented hitter, at least he could be. I see no reason not to give him a chance to be on the 40 man. So you're in, my friend. Then beyond that, I'm not really sure who to keep. Maybe Ruben Echevarria. Like, I don't have all that many starters on the 40 man. But on the other hand, I don't think anyone else would take him in the Rule 5. So I don't know yet. I'm going to leave one spot open, I think. Or do you want to use it for Danny Gray? I mean, I got Matt Hawkins, and Hawkins is by far the more likely one to be an important piece. Is anyone the 40 man I don't want here? I think Pat Link is done. I don't think he has anything left to offer me. I'm going to just trade him, though. Mr. Pat Link, what can I get for you? I will take literally anything that's even remotely interesting. And I'm already seeing Ozzy Valle. Alex Pentoya, and not so much. I don't think there's a lot to be said for a pitcher that's only got 2 pitches that are really good. Both of which are on the slower side. I'm not sure he'll succeed in the majors. Meh. I think we'll go for Edgar Gonzalez. I think we'll give him an opportunity. Because you're not going to give me a good prospect, right? That would be pretty stupid for a player that's not that good. So we're going to do that. That gives us 2 40-man spots open now. Is there anybody else that doesn't have a role on this team and is unlikely to have one? Justin Cool, I think, can also be traded. I could only apparently get one player, but the player you're offering is actually solid, so I'll take it anyway. Done. Okay, now I've cleared up enough space so we can add free agents or whatever else we want to do. Let's be realistic. We got a load of money. The owner's given us the goal to increase attendance. I think we're going to cut ticket prices. I think I'm going to drop ticket prices by $1. Because I got plenty of revenue, right? I don't really feel obligated to mess with that, so we're gonna do that. And you want me to steal more bases? I mean, I'd love to get a proper center fielder. That can also hit, but that's fine. Sean Hill and Henry Salgado, literally highway robbery. Really? We're spending quite a lot of money now, actually. Interesting. I mean, we do have, like, a top 11 payroll, and some of the players that we paid a lot of money to weren't that great. So I get that. Right. How many homers do you have already, Johnny? You almost have 300 homers now. Like, you're not even 30 yet, and you're almost at 300 homers. That's ridiculous. Remember, Manny Pozo just hit 300 homers this year and has played for a lot longer than you. He's also a better player than Cerulli. He has had one below average season with the bat. That's awesome. That's awesome. I do wish you had a couple more awards, though, in your trophy case. I think that would help out tremendously in terms of getting you to be into the Hall of Fame. But I think you might make it anyway. Like, keep this in mind, right? You're 103 hits from 2,500. That's a big number. It's a very big number. Could you get 3,000 hits? You average 176 hits a season, right? I don't think that's necessarily fair to expect it, especially as you get older, but let's say for the sake of argument that you do. You would need to play for, I think, I don't feel like doing the math right now, but I think we're talking like 4 seasons, maybe 5. If you play till you're 40 and keep playing at a high level, you could get to 3,000 hits. In which case, you're guaranteed to make the Hall of Fame. You'd add another 20 home runs a year, so we'd be getting close to 400 homers. Yeah, I think you'd have a real shot at making the Hall of Fame. I think you have a real shot to make the Hall of Fame right now, to be quite honest with you. Because unless you get seriously injured or just completely shit the bed next season, you're going to get to 2,500 hits. And I think there'd be a very difficult argument to keep you out of the Hall of Fame if you have 2,500 hits. And have otherwise been an exceptional player, which you have been. But we'll see. By Jaws, you've got it in the bag. Like, you are way above the average for Jaws. You just don't have a lot in the black ink because you have that many top 10 top finishes. What have you actually led the league in? You led the league in hits in 2048. In doubles, 3 times. You won a batting title, and that's it. But you've got a whole lot of top 10 finishes, and I think that helps mitigate it. It seems pretty likely he'll make the Hall of Fame. So that is what we're going to hope happens this season. You've been paid a lot of money, my friend. Almost $300 million over the course of your career. And you will get to that amount by the end. But it's going to be a good time. And, my friend, I would not want you to waive your no-trade clause. I'm happy to have you here. I like you. You're my pal. If Johnny's really keeps hitting home runs at a crazy high rate, he's got a pretty decent chance to make the Hall of Fame just because of the home runs. But we'll see what happens with him. Do I want to lock up Salgado or Sean Hill? Neither of you want to be locked up. So I'm just going to wait then, and we'll go from there. Alright, my friends, that concludes today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please remember to like the video. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. But until next time, my friends, I'd like to thank you for watching, and until next time, I bid you good day.